Alright, everybody, what is up, and welcome back. How are you? You know who it is. It's me, your boy, Garrett. And we are obviously in my basement. Um, and of course, this is Third Gen Aquatics for any of you who are new. But anyway, we're behind the 125 as normal. 125 is looking beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We had some struggles with it. We were having some issues with filtration, but we got that knocked out. And we got water pushing in this bad boy now. So we got plenty of filtration, which is great. Like I said, we were having issues, had some jam ups and some things, but we're able to get that taken care of. So today's video, or this video, is going to be more specifically about kind of more touching on what our last video was when Pops was here. Um, we recorded that video Thursday, and it is now Sunday, and I'm recording another video. So obviously within a couple day turnover, a lot of things has changed since then. There's a massive tank. I wouldn't say massive, not bigger than the 125, but a pretty good sized tank over here now, which I'm sure you can see. I'm not gonna get too crazy, obviously, about what's gonna go in there, but the plan is to pick up something next weekend, and it's gonna obviously be a quarantine slash grow out thing. But like I said, I wanted to touch on what we talked about a little bit Thursday. I'm sure you guys are, or somebody's thinking, wow, it must be nice to just go out and buy a brand new tank and a whole setup and everything else and go with it. It's not a brand new setup. This is yes, it's a new setup to me. It's a new setup to the basement, the fish basement, if you will. But I sourced, or my fiance, I'll give the credit to her. She's gonna have to block that out. She's pretty good at finding different things. It was a 55-gallon tank, complete, like, filtration, lights, lids, everything you need, heaters, stand, everything for free. So I went, drove about 35-ish minutes from where I am located to that location. And obviously, I picked it up completely free. Like, why would I not? This tank that I have on top of this stand is not the tank that I got from her. That tank is in my garage right now because it is actually going to get resealed. This tank here I got from Pops. There's a tank from an exchange that we did a while back. So he's giving me that tank back, which is super dope. And obviously it looks really good in my opinion. But what I will say is if you go out to Petco and you buy a tank and you buy a stand together, and it's the tank is only rated to hold a 55-gallon, or the stand is only rated to hold a 55-gallon tank, do not go more than 55 gallons. This tank or stand, I apologize, is reinforced, has been supported. I guess somebody custom built this by the looks of it, and I checked it over. Pops checked it over, so I feel pretty comfortable. So the size that I actually have on this stand is a 65-gallon tank. So again, I got this whole entire setup basically for free. Everything in this tank, the hang on back filter came with the 55-gallon, came with all that. Heater came with it, the lids came with it, and the only difference is between a 55-gallon and a 65-gallon is height. So other than that, everything works. So the lids fit perfectly. Everything fits very well. I am gonna end up putting a bigger heater in that tank. But the reason why I'm making this video is to just say, like, it is not hard to get into this hobby. It is not hard to get into having different tanks, having different options, I guess, or different things to look at, which is kind of why I'm so sporadic. It's just the things that I like and the things I enjoy looking at, obviously. So it's not. like for this specific setup, the most expensive thing is going to be the fish that's going to go into this setup. This whole setup again cost me nothing. Check Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace will be your friend. Yes, it might take you a while. Yes, it might take you a couple days, couple weeks. But once you get into the rhythm of looking it up, it'll constantly bring stuff up in your area. I probably see two, I would say 200 tanks a day probably on mine just because I'm constantly scrolling through it. Because you never know what's going to get posted. Stuff gets posted for free. Stuff gets posted real cheap, and that is when you capitalize. Like I said, there are tanks out in my garage right now that are going to need resealed. That will also be in a video. There are tanks in my garage that are going to need the new trim pieces or plastic covers or whatever you choose to call them. So that's going to be in another video. So it's definitely worth looking. It's definitely worth not, in my opinion, not going out and buying a brand new tank if you don't have to. So with that being said, again, all this was free. I'm gonna turn the camera. All I did was move the green terror tank, or the green terror grow out tank, terrors. I don't know why I just air quoted that. And the flower horn tank. Put this bad boy. So with that being said, there she is, an absolute beaut. I think this tank is awesome. I love the lighting. I think it looks super cool. I don't know how it's coming over through the phone, but I will turn this light off because even still it makes it, I love the lighting of that. So like I said, I'm gonna turn these off quick. I mean, that's a good looking tank. That is a good looking setup. I don't care who you are. And for those of you who complain about the bare bottom look, whatever, it's temporary. And I don't really mind it. It's not a look that I would want, but it's not the worst. I'd rather have a bare bottom than a crappy looking setup tank. But anyway, my favorite, blue lights, baby. I don't know why I love that, but blue lights. I don't know why. I think it looks super cool. But blue lights. That's all I gotta say. Again, I will say all this was free. So don't be scared to look. It's definitely pays off, in my opinion, in the long run. So with that being said, it's Garrett from Third Gen Aquatics. I'm out of here.